So to use the import manager, you first have to add your email here. Right? You just right click on the header of the toolbar to open these settings, and then you set your email here. Set emails, and the subscription email will be the one that you log into the portal, the members area, our website, and it will compare your email to your machine license key. And then we're using server 0 right now. So until you hear differently, we're using server 0. So if this one goes bad, then we'll switch to server 1. It seemed to happen quite a bit in the recent past, but haven't had an issue lately. And then this email, this email is for the alerts, and you guys, somebody is setting this weird email, and I have about 2,200 failed emails going into our support center over the past several days. Somebody has set this, and there's a few more like it. I think it's trying to do a email as a text message or something. You can actually have email on your phone and just set alerts for particular emails that come in. But anyway, it's bouncing, so this is no good. Whoever's using this one in the volume analyst. The toolbar, though, will make sure that you use the right email to avoid that. So you put your email in there, it sends you a confirmation code, and then you got to enter that confirmation code here. That's for the email alerts for the toolbar. Yeah, if there's ever a problem, you can just go over here and check the email for the subscription for the import manager, and it'll tell you whether it's active or not. Okay, so it's active, and now I just need to right-click on it to refresh. Right-click on that refresh button, and it will re-download everything from the server. Left-clicking on it will supposedly just download what you're missing, but I don't know, when you're starting from scratch, that doesn't seem to work. So after it's working, it does, but initially you've got to right-click on that refresh button. So it's just downloaded everything I've exported to the server, and I'm going to go over some of these settings here. So this one right here is a pretty important one. This determines, all of these will determine what is shown in this list. And I want to say you can click on these and it'll sort them. Doesn't appear to be doing that though. Yeah, it did. It sorted them. So it will sort them alphanumerically. See? And then I'm the only one exporting, so it's just my name for the file and then the time that I exported it. But this one here, shown, this is showing you all of everything. If you left it set to shown and then you imported everything, you're going to have a mess big time. So anyhow, you set this to most recent, and it'll sort that list to only the most recent file for each market and each chart. And if you don't have the chart open, it'll show a 0 right here. If you do have the chart open, it shows a 1. All right, so I'm going to, rather than selecting every single market, I'm just going to select the ES, the current contract of the ES. And then you can determine what you want to allow to be imported or not. I would uncheck the profiles. That would be the heaviest thing coming through that could slow you down. All right, so now I've got it set up the way that I want it. And here, I'm going to set it like you did to skip deleted global, which means that if I import, as a user importing my objects that I've exported to the server, and then I delete some of them, when it re-imports the file for that chart, it will never show that previous object that I just deleted from it. Basically, if you want yours to look identical to mine, you would set this to mirror. But if you set it to merge, you'll be able to draw your own and also import mine. And then if you delete some of mine, it will skip them and it won't re-import the ones that you've deleted when this is set to skip deleted global. Anyway, I would always just set it to skip deleted. That way you can kind of control. If you accidentally delete something and you want to import it back, just click on reset items and it'll drop that list that it builds. Okay, so if you are importing my objects and then you accidentally delete some, having set this to skip deleted, either one, global or per chart, I don't really know what the difference is, doesn't seem like there really is one, then you can just click on reset items and it'll clear out that list and let you re-import whatever you've deleted of my objects. So I'm going to set it to auto import and merge, and then I'm going to import all of these all at once by clicking on this import selected button. And there it's just imported all of those objects for all of those charts, 103 objects. And it did everything except for the weekly. And it says I don't have one, and that must be because it's not showing yet. Aha. So you do have to bring that one into focus also. Still shows it as not being available. Yep, they do, Bob. Yeah, it'll drop the old ones. See, it should do that, and that's what I'm going to check now. So rather than adding to all the previous objects, it should remove the previous objects and then import the new. As long as you have this set to most recent. You want to make sure you set this to most recent. That's so weird. And see, now it shows the weekly. Maybe it hadn't fully loaded. That's probably it. It hadn't fully loaded when I opened the import manager. So that may be an issue for you when you start up. And it's always going to start up set to manual and merge. So you'll have to set these every morning, which is no big deal. You just, it makes it to where it's, nothing's going to happen without you knowing about it, without you doing it intentionally. So I'm going to set it to auto import and merge. I'm going to import, I'm going to export rather the daily chart. Do the weekly. All right, it should be coming through. I wonder if I don't have data feed connected on that other chart. If it, okay, here it comes. It didn't work. I bet it's my data settings. I'm sure it is. So my data feed is set up to, it's set to merge non-back adjusted. So to completely emulate what I'm doing, you'll have to go in and disconnect from your data feed and go to Tools, Options, Market Data, and then set this global merge policy to merge non-back adjusted. And then that shows the actual prices of the contracts that were traded, rather than trying to back adjust and remove that gap between the contracts. And then when you do that, you really need to close it down. I don't think you have to do this, but it's probably best that you do. And then delete that old data so it can download fresh data and not have to readjust everything. So your old data is in the DB folder for the database. DB for database. Documents, NinjaTrader 8, DB for database. And then you need to delete. You don't have to delete all of them. You don't have to delete your replay data, but you need to delete the cache, day, minute, and tick. And all the other charts are built from those. The cache is the sorting of the instrument. How do you call it? Trading hours to match up with your time zone. That's what the cache is. And then as I open Ninja 8, it'll rebuild all that, all those folders, and it'll re-download the data. So this is what that chart ought to look like. All right, so I just exported that. And now I'm going to show that weekly chart again. I'm going to delete everything from it first. And then here's, it doesn't let me put that on top. That's weird. All right, this is the virtual machine over here on the right. And this is the one on my main computer. So I'm going to export this. Oops, I got to open up. You'll have to open up the import manager every time. Unless you click on no when you close down. I think it asks you if you want to keep syncing or something. And you can click on no, and then I think it, I don't know if it'll open up, but it'll still import after you open up. It should. I'm going to set that to auto import, merge. Everything else is stored, all the other settings. And then I just exported, so I'm just going to import manually here. We should see it show up instantly. Yeah. So there it is. Now it looks right. All right, let's do the 2-minute. So this is my 2-minute chart on the left. This is like yours on the right. So I export, go into the server, and then bam, shows up that fast. It's pretty cool, isn't it? All right, so now I'm going to add to it that 2 minute. I'm going to add this one and delete this one. So that one that I just deleted, this one here, should also delete. Yeah, it did. See? You mean your objects delete everything and start fresh? Yeah, oh yeah. It's always a good idea. Never a bad idea. Sometimes you kind of need to, especially if you roll over without deleting all the previous contracts objects. All right, y'all have a good one. I'll talk to you tomorrow.